Welcome to Executive Order Watch.
The immigrants have arrived.
I know. I have the package.
Morning, good evening, good afternoon, whatever time it is. I hope you're doing well. You're here with E-Millions, and what we're going to be doing, we're going over the big, beautiful bill, and we're going to have it read out for the most part, so we know every word of what's said of it. So if you're driving, you can listen to it. If you're walking, you can listen to it. If you're running, I guess you can do that too. If you're driving a big wheel, this is definitely for you. All right, so let's go ahead and get to it.
State share. Subject to subparagraph, the state share of the cost of allotments described in paragraph in a fiscal year shall be state quality control incentive. Beginning in fiscal year 2028, any state that has a payment error rate as defined in section 16 for the most recent complete fiscal year for which data is available of equal to or greater than 6% but less than 8% shall have its federal share of the cost of allotments described in paragraph. For the current fiscal year equal 85% and its state share equal 15%. Equal to or greater than 8% but less than 10% shall have its federal share of the cost of allotments described in paragraph for the current fiscal year equal 80% and its state share equal 20%. 22. Equal to or greater than 10%. One shall have its federal share of the cost of allotments described in paragraph for the CUR 3 rent fiscal year equals 75%, and its state 4 share equal 25%. The RC, the Secretary of Ag 6 Agriculture, may not pay towards the cost of allotments described in paragraph of Section 4 of the Food and 8 Nutrition Act of 2008. As designated 9 by subsection, an amount greater than the applicable 10 federal share described in paragraph of such section 11.4, as added by subsection of SEC 107, administrative cost sharing. 13, section 16 of the Food and Nutrition Act of 2814 is amended by striking 50% 15 tum and inserting 25%. 6008, General Work Requirement Age. 17, Section 6 of the Food and Nutrition Act of 2008-18 is amended 19. In paragraph in the matter pre-20 seating clause, by striking over the age of 15 and 21 under the age of 60 and inserting over the age of 22. 17 under the age of 65 and 23. In paragraph 24. 23. By striking child under age 6 and 1 inserting child under age 7 and 2. By striking between 1 and 6 years of 3 age and inserting between 1 and 7 years of 4 age. CC 10009, National Accuracy Clearinghouse. 6, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 21, 22, SEC. 10010, Quality Control Zero Tolerance. 23. Section 11 of the Food and Nutrition Act of 2008 is amended by adding at the 8 end the following 9. Data sharing to prevent other multiple issuances. A state agency shall use each indication of multiple issuance or each indication that individual receiving supplemental nutrition assistance program benefits in one state has applied to receive supplemental nutrition assistance program benefits in another state to prevent multiple issuances of other federal and state assistance program benefits that a state agency administers through the integrated eligibility system that the state uses to administer the supplemental nutrition assistance program in the state. Section 16 of the Food and Nutrition Act 24 of 2008 is amended 24 in subclause by striking at the one end 2. In subclause 3 by striking fiscal year thereafter, and 4 inserting of fiscal years 2015 through 2025, 5 and 6. By striking the period at the end, and 7 inserting, and 8. By adding at the end the following, 9 for each fiscal year there, 10 after, $0. National Education and Obesity Prevent 12 Shun Grant Program Repealer. 13. The Food and Nutrition Act of 2008 is amended by striking Section 28. Alien SNAP eligibility. 17. Section 6 of the Food and Nutrition Act of 2008-18 is amended to read as follows. 19. No individual who is a member of a household 20 otherwise eligible to participate in the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program under this section shall be eligible 22 to participate in the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance 23 program as a member of that or any other household when 24, less he or she is 25. 25. A resident of the United States. Either is not otherwise inadmissible under Section 212 of such act and is physically present in the United States pursuant to a grant of parole in furtherance of the commitment of a citizen or national of the United States. An alien lawfully admitted for permanent residence as an immigrant as defined by Sections 101 and 101 of the Immigration and Nationality Act, excluding, among others, alien visitors, tourists, diplomats, and students who enter the United States temporarily with no intention of abandoning their residence in a foreign country. An alien who is a citizen or national of the Republic of Cuba and who is the beneficiary of an approved petition under Section 203 of the Immigration and Nationality Act. Meets all eligibility requirements for an immigrant visa, but for whom such a visa is not immediately available. 26. The United States to the minimum level of 1 annual legal migration of Cuban nationals, 2 to the United States, specified in the U.S. 3 Cuba Joint Communique on Migration. 4 done at New York September 9, 1994, and 5 reaffirmed in the Cuba United States. 6 Joint Statement on Normalization of Migration, building on the agreement of September 8, 9, 1994, done at New York May 9, 2, 1995. Or an individual who lawfully resides in the United States in accordance with a compact of free association, referred to in Section 402 of the Personal Responsibility and Work Opportunity Reconciliation Act of 1996. The income and financial resources of the individual rendered ineligible to participate in the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program under this subsection shall be considered in determining the eligibility and the value of the allotment of the household of which such individual is a member. 27. SEC 10,013 Emergency Food Assistance. Section 203D of the Emergency Food Assist 2 and Act of 1983 is amended by 3 striking 2024 and inserting 2031. Subtitle B, Investment in Rural 5 America 6. SEC 1101 Safety Net. 7. Section 1111 of the 8 Agricultural Act of 2014 is amended 9 to read as follows: 1011. In general, subject to SARA 12 graphs, and the term reference price, 13 with respect to a covered commodity for a crop 14 year, means the following: 15. For wheat, $6.35 per bushel. 16 for corn, $4.10 per bushel. 17 for grain sorghum, $4.40 per 18 bushel. 18 for barley, $5.45 per bushel. 20 for oats, $2.65 per bushel. For long grain rice, $16.90 per 2,200 weight. 23 for medium grain rice, $16.90, 24 per 100 weight. 25 for soybeans, $10 per bush, 1L. For other oil seeds, $23.75 per 300 weight. 4 for peanuts, $630 per ton. 5 for dry peas, $13.10 per 106 dread weight. For lentils, $23.75 per 108 weight. For small chickpeas, $22.65, 10 per 100 weight. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. For large chickpeas, $25.65 per 100 weight. For seed cotton, 42 cents per pound. Effective beginning with the 2031 crop year. The reference price is defined in subparagraph with respect to a covered commodity shall equal the reference price in the previous crop year multiplied by 0.005. Notation. In no case shall a reference price for a covered commodity exceed 115% of the reference price for such covered commodity listed in subparagraph. 29. BA, Section 1112 of the Agricultural Act of 2014 is amended in subsection by striking 2023 and inserting 2031. By adding at the end the following. In general, as soon as practicable after the date of enactment of this subsection, and notwithstanding subsection, the Secretary shall provide notice to owners of eligible farms pursuant to paragraph and allocate to those eligible farms a total of not more than an additional 30 million base acres in the manner provided in this subsection. Content of notice. The notice under paragraph shall include the following. Information that the allocation is occurring. Information regarding the eligibility of the farm for an allocation of base acres under paragraph. Information regarding how an owner appeal a determination of ineligibility for an allocation of base acres under paragraph through an appeals process established by the Secretary. 30. An owner of a farm that is eligible to receive an allocation of base acres may elect to not receive that allocation by notifying the Secretary. In general, subject to subparagraph. Effective beginning with the 2026 crop year, a farm is eligible to receive an allocation of base acres if, with respect to the farm, the amount described in subparagraph exceeds the amount described in subparagraph. 5-year average sum. The amount described in this subparagraph with respect to a farm is the sum of the 5-year average of the acreage planted on the farm to all covered commodities for harvest, grazing, haying, silage, or other similar purposes for the 2019 through 2023 crop years. And any acreage on the farm that the producers were prevented from planting during the 2019 through 2023 crop years to covered. 31. commodities because of drought, flood, or other natural disaster or other condition beyond the control of the producers, as determined by the Secretary, plus 1, 2, 3, or 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. The lesser of 15% of the total acres on the farm. The 5-year average of the acreage planted on the farm to eligible non-covered commodities for harvest, grazing, haying, silage, or other similar purposes for the 2019 through 2023 crop years. And any acreage on the farm that the producers were prevented from planting during the 2019 through 2023 crop years to eligible non-covered commodities because of drought, flood, or other natural disaster or other condition beyond the control of the producers, as determined by the Secretary. 32. Total number of base acres for covered commodities. The amount described in this subparagraph with respect to a farm is the total number of base acres for covered commodities on the farm, as in effect on September 30th, 2024. Effect of no recent plantings of covered commodities. In the case of a farm for which the amount determined under clause of subparagraph is equal to 0, that farm shall be ineligible to receive an allocation of base acres under this subsection. Acreage planted on the farm to eligible non-covered commodities. In this paragraph, the term acreage planted on the farm to eligible non-covered commodities means acreage planted on a farm to commodities other than covered commodities. Trees, bushes, vines, grass, or pasture is determined by the Secretary. Number of base acres. Subject to paragraphs and the number of base acres allocated to an eligible farm shall 33. Be equal to the difference obtained by subtracting the amount determined under subparagraph of paragraph from the amount determined under subparagraph of that paragraph, and include unassigned crop base. Allocation of acres. The Secretary shall allocate the number of base acres under paragraph among those covered commodities planted on the farm at any time during the 2019 through 2023 crop years. Allocation formula. The allocation of additional base acres for covered commodities shall be in proportion to the ratio of the 5-year average of the acreage planted on the farm to each covered commodity for harvest, grazing, haying, silage, or other similar purposes for the 2019 through 2023 crop years. Any acreage on the farm that the producers were prevented from planting during the 2019 through 2023 crop years to that cove. 34. The 5-year average determined under paragraph. Inclusion of all 5 years in AVER. For the purpose of determining a 5-year acreage average under subparagraph for a farm, the Secretary shall not exclude any crop year in which a covered commodity was not planted. Treatment of multiple planting or prevented planting. For the purpose of determining under subparagraph the acreage on a farm that producers planted or were prevented from planting during the 2019 through 2023 crop years to covered commodities. If the acreage that was planted or prevented from being planted was devoted to another covered commodity in the same crop year, the owner may elect the covered 35 commodity to be used for that crop year in determining the 5-year average, but may not include both the initial covered commodity and the subsequent covered commodity. The allocation of additional base acres among covered commodities on a farm under this paragraph may not result in a total number of base acres for the farm in excess of the total number of acres on the farm. Reduction by the Secretary. In carrying out this subsection, If the total number of eligible acres allocated to base acres across all farms in the United States under this subsection would exceed 30,000,000 acres, the Secretary shall apply an across-the-board pro rata reduction to the number of eligible acres to ensure the number of allocated base acres under this subsection is equal to 30 million acres. Payment yield. Beginning with crop year 2026, for the purpose of making price loss coverage payments under Section 1116, the Secretary shall establish payment yields to base acres allocated under this subsection equal to the payment yield established on the farm for the applicable covered commodity, and 36. If no such payment yield for the applicable covered commodity exists, a payment to yield 3 equal to the average payment for yield for the covered commodity for the 5 county in which the farm is situated, or 6 determined pursuant to Section 71113. A treatment of new owners. In the 9 case of a farm for which the owner on the date of 10 enactment of this subsection was not the owner for 11, the 2019 through 2023 crop years, the Secretary 12 shall use the planting history of the prior owner or 13 owners of that farm for purposes of determining 14. Eligibility under paragraph 15. Eligible acres under paragraph 16 and 17. The allocation of acres under par 18 graph 19. PE Section 1115 of the Ag 20 Agricultural Act of 2014 is amended 21. In subsection, in the matter preceding 22 paragraph by striking 2023 and inserting 23, 2031, and 24. In subsection 25. 37. In the matter preceding paragraph by striking 2014 crop year or the 2019 crop year as applicable and inserting 2014 crop year, 2019 crop year, or 2026 crop year as applicable. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In paragraph by striking 2014 6 crop year or the 2019 crop year as applicable. 7 and inserting 2014 crop year, 2019 crop year, 8 or 2026 crop year as applicable. And 9, 10. In subparagraph by striking 11 at the end, 12. In subparagraph by striking 13 the period at the end and inserting 14 and 15. By adding at the end the full 16 lowing 17. The same coverage for each covered 18 commodity on the farm for the 2026 through 19 2031 crop years as was applicable for the 2024-20 crop year. 21. PLC Section 1116 of the 22 Agricultural Act of 2014 is amended 23. In paragraph 38. In subsection, in the matter pre-1 seating subparagraph, by striking 2023 and 2 inserting 2031, 3. In subsection 4. In the subparagraph heading by strict 5ing and inserting, and 6. In the matter preceding clause, by 7 striking 2023 and inserting 2031, 8. In subsection, by striking 2025 and 9 inserting 2031. And 10. In subsection, by striking 2012 through 11 2016, each place it appears and inserting 2017 12 through 2021. 13. ARC, Section 1117-14 of the Agricultural Act of 2014 is amended 15 ed. 16. In subsection, in the matter preceding 17 paragraph by striking 2023 and inserting 18 2031, 19. In subsection 20. In paragraph by inserting for 21 each of the 2014 through 2024 crop years and 22. 90% of the benchmark revenue for each 23 of the 2025 through 2031 crop years before 24, the period at the end. 25. 39. By striking 2023, each place it at 1 pairs and inserting 2031 and 2. In paragraph in the subpara 3 graph heading by striking and inserting 4, 5. By amending subsection to read 6 as follows, 7. For each of the crop years 2014-8 through 2024, 10% of the benchmark 9 revenue for the crop year applicable under sub 10 section. And 11, for each of the crop years 2025-12 through 2031. 12.5% of the benchmark 13 revenue for the crop year applicable under sub 14 section, and 15 in subsections. And by 16 striking 2023 each place it appears and inserting 2031. 18. ET treatment of C19. 20. IN General. Section 1001 of the Food 21 Security Act of 1985 is amended 22. In subsection 23. By redesignating paragraph as 24 paragraph and 25. 40. By inserting after paragraph 1 the following, 2. The 3-term qualified pass-through entity means 4. A partnership 7. An S corporation 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. Attribution of payments. Section 23-1001 of the Food Security Act of 1985-24 is amended 25. A limited liability company that does not affirmatively elect to be treated as a corporation. A joint venture or general partnership. In subsections and by strike if the joint venture or general partnership, each place it appears and inserting except a qualified pass-through entity. In subsection, by striking subtitle B and all that follows through the end and inserting title I of the Agricultural Act of 2014. The clause heading, by striking 1 joint ventures and general partner 2 and inserting qualified pass-3 through entities 4. By striking a joint venture or a Gen 5 aero partnership and inserting a qualified 6 pass-through entity 7. By striking joint ventures and general 8 partnerships and inserting qualified pass 9 through entities and in subparagraphs and by striking in a general partnership a participant in a joint venture, each place it appears and inserting a qualified pass-through entity. And in subparagraph by striking a general partnership, joint venture, or similar entity, and inserting a qualified pass-through entity or a similar entity. By striking the joint venture or general partnership and inserting the qualified pass-through entity. Pearson's actively engaged in farm. Section 1001A of the Food Security Act of 1985 is amended. 42. Joint and several liability. Section 1001B of the Food Security Act of 1985 is amended by striking partner 3 ships and joint ventures and inserting qualified 4 pass-through entities. By exclusion from AGI calculation. Section 1001D of the Food Security Act of 1985 is amended by striking Gen 8 aero partnership or joint venture, each place it of 9 pairs. PL. Section 1001 of the 11 Food Security Act of 1985 is amended 12. In subsection 13. By striking and inserting sub 14 ject to subsection the and 15. By striking $125,000, inserting $1,155,017. In subsection 18. by striking and inserting sub 19 ject to subsection, and 20 by striking $125,000 and inserting 155,000 and 22 by adding at the end the following 23. A, for the 2025 crop year and 24 each crop year thereafter, the Secretary shall annually add 25. 43. Just the amounts described in subsections, and for one inflation based on the Consumer Price Index for all urban 2 consumers published by the Bureau of Labor Statistics. 3 of the Department of Labor. AGIIL, Sec 5-1001D of the Food Security Act of 1985 is amended 7. In paragraph by striking paragraph 8 and inserting paragraphs and 9 by adding at the end the following 10. Exception for certain operations. D, in this paragraph 12. Accepted payment or BEN 13. The term accepted payment or 14 benefit means 15. A payment or benefit under 16 subtitle E of Title I of the Agricultural 17 Act of 2014. 18. A payment or benefit under 19 Section 196 of the Federal Agriculture 20 Improvement and Reform Act of 1996 21, and 22. A payment or benefit D23 scribed in paragraph received 24 on or after October 1st, 2024. 25. 44. F. Silviculture activities. The term farming, ranching, or silviculture activities includes agritourism, direct-to-consumer marketing of agricultural products, the sale of agricultural equipment by a person or legal entity that owns such equipment, and other agriculture-related activities as determined by the Secretary. In the case of an accepted payment or benefit, the limitation established by paragraph shall not apply to a person or legal entity during a crop, fiscal or program year as appropriate, if greater than or equal to 75% of the average gross income of the person or legal entity derives from farming, ranching, or silviculture activities. Availability of non-recourse marketing assistance loans for loan common. Section 1201 of the Agricultural Act of 2014 is amended by striking 2023 and inserting 2031. Loan rates for non-recourse marketing assistance loans. Section 1202 of the 45. Agricultural Act of 2014 is amend 1 ed 2. In subsection 3. In the subsection heading by strict foring 2023 and inserting 2025 and 5. In the matter preceding paragraph 6. By striking 2023 and inserting 7 2025, 8. By redesignating subsections and 9 as subsections and respectively 10. By inserting after subsection the 11 following 12. 2026 T 2031 CY. For per 13 poses of each of the 2026 through 2031 crop years, the 14 loan rate for a marketing assistance loan under Section 15-1201 for a loan commodity shall be equal to the following. 16. In the case of wheat, $3.72 per bushel. 17. In the case of corn, $2.42 per bushel. 18. In the case of grain sorghum, $2.42 per 19 bushel. 20. In the case of barley, $2.75 per bushel. 21. In the case of oats, $2.20 per bushel. In the case of upland cotton, 55 cents per 23 pound. 24. 46. In the case of extra long staple cotton, $1 per pound. In the case of long grain rice, $7.70 per 300 weight. In the case of medium grain rice, $7.70 5 per 100 weight. 6 in the case of soybeans, $6.82 per bushel. 7 in the case of other oil seeds, $11.10 per 800 weight for each of the following kinds of oil, 9 seeds. 10. Sunflower seed, 11. Rapeseed, 12. Canola, 13. Safflower, 14. Mustard seed, 16. 17. Tea. Other oil seeds designated by the Sec 19 Retary. 20 in the case of dry peas, $6.87 per hun, 21 deadweight. 22 in the case of lentils, $14.30 per hun, 23 deadweight. 24. 47. In the case of small chickpeas, $11 per hundredweight. In the case of large chickpeas, $15.40 per 300 weight. In the case of grated wool, $1.60 per 5 pound. In the case of non-graded wool, 55 cents per 7 pound 8. In the case of mohair, $5 per 9 pound. In the case of honey, $1.50 per 10 pound. In the case of peanuts, $390 per ton. 11. In subsection 12 by striking and inserting 13. And 14. By amending subsection to read as follows: 16. Ale Arvin Seddon, C. 18. In general, for purposes of section 1911-16 and paragraphs in 20. Of section 1117, the loan rate shall 21 be deemed to equal 22. For seed cotton, 30 cents per pound and 23. For corn, $3.30 per bushel. 24. 48. Nothing in this subsection authorizes any non-recourse marketing assistance loan under this subtitle for seed cotton. Payment of cotton storage costs. Section 1204 of the Agricultural Act of 2014 is amended by striking effective and inserting the following. Crop years 2014 through 2025 effective. In paragraph, by striking 2023 and inserting 2025. By adding at the end the following. Payment of cotton storage costs. Effective for each of the 2026 through 2031 crop years. The Secretary shall make cotton storage payments for upland cotton and extra long staple cotton available in the same manner as the Secretary provided storage payments for the 2006 crop of upland cotton, except that the payment rate shall be equal to the lesser of the submitted tariff rate for the current marketing year, and in the case of storage in 49. California or Arizona, a payment rate of $4.90. Any other state, a payment rate of $3. Loan deficiency payments. Section 1205 of the Agricultural Act of 2014 is amended by striking 2023 and inserting 2031. Payments in lieu of alias. Section 1206 of the Agricultural Act of 2014 is amended in subsections and, by striking 2023, each place it appears and inserting 2031. As special competitive provisions for extra long staple cotton. Section 1208 of the Agricultural Act of 2014 is amended in the matter preceding paragraph by striking 2026 and inserting 2032. Availability of recourse loans. Section 1209 of the Agricultural Act of 2014 is amended in subsections and by striking 2023 each place it appears and inserting 2031. R. A payment of ML. Section 11204 of the Agricultural Act of 2014 is to amended. 3. By striking paragraph and inserting the following. In the case of long grain rice and medium grain rice, the prevailing world market price for the commodity, as determined and adjusted by the Secretary in accordance with this section. Or, in the case of upland cotton, the lowest prevailing world market price for the commodity, as determined and adjusted by the Secretary in accordance with this section. During the 30-day period following the day on which the producer repays the marketing assistance loan. 51. RE Fund for Upland Cotton. In the case of a repayment for a marketing assistance loan for upland cotton at a rate described in paragraph, the Secretary shall provide to the producer a refund in an amount equal to the difference between the lowest prevailing world market price described in that paragraph and the repayment amount. In subsection, by striking the period at the end and inserting and. By striking at the loan rate and inserting the following, at a rate that is the lesser of the loan rate, by adding at the end the following. The prevailing world market price for the commodity as determined and adjusted by the Secretary in accordance with this section. In subsection. In paragraph, by striking in medium grain rice and inserting medium grain rice and extra long staple cotton. 52. By redesignating paragraphs and 1. As subparagraphs and respectively 2 and indenting appropriately. 3. In the matter preceding subparagraph 4. By striking for per 5 poses and inserting the following 6. Purposes. By adding at the end the following. U. In the case of upland 9 cotton, for any period when price quotations for 10 middling 1-inch cotton are available. The 411 MULA under paragraph shall be based on the 12 average of the 3 lowest priced growths that are 13 quoted. And 14. In subsection 15. In the subsection heading by inserting 16 ELSC after U17C 18. In paragraph 19. In the paragraph heading by strict 20ing C and inserting U21 and 22. In subparagraph in the MAT 23 preceding clause, by striking 24-2024 and inserting 2032-25. 53. By redesignating paragraph as paragraph. By inserting after paragraph the following. Extra long staple cotton. The prevailing world market price for extra long staple cotton, determined under subsection, shall be adjusted to United States quality and location, with the adjustment to include the average costs to market the commodity, including average transportation costs as determined by the Secretary. May be further adjusted during the period beginning on the date of enactment of this paragraph and ending on July 31st, 2032, if the Secretary determines the adjustment is necessary to minimize potential loan forfeitures, to minimize the accumulation of stocks of extra long staple cotton by the federal government. 54. To ensure an appropriate transition between current crop and forward 2 crop price quotations, except that the Sec 3 retailer may use forward crop price 4 quotations prior to July 31st of a marking 5-year only if 6. There are insufficient CUR 7 rent crop price quotations, and 8 the forward crop price 9 quotation is the lowest such quotation 10 available. 11. EATFM. Section 1207 of the Agricultural Act of 13-2014 is amended by striking para 14 graph and inserting the following 15. Value of assistance. The value of the 16 assistance provided under paragraph shall be 17. For the period beginning on August 1st, 2013, and ending on July 31st, 2025, 3 cents per 19 pound and 20. Beginning on August 1st, 2025, 5 cents 21 per pound. 22. SPU 23. 55. Loan rate modifications. Section 156(1) of the Federal Agriculture Improvement and Reform 2 Act of 1996 is amended. 3. In subsection 4. In paragraph by striking 5 at the end. 6. In paragraph by striking 723 crop years and inserting 2024 8 crop years and 9. By adding at the end the full 10 lowing 11. 24.00 cents per pound for raw cane sugar. 12 for each of the 2025 through 2031 crop years. 13. In subsection 14. In paragraph by striking 15 and at the end 16. In paragraph by striking 17 2023 crop years and inserting 2024 18 years and 19. By adding at the end the full 20 lowing, 21. A rate that is equal to 136.55% of 22, the loan rate per pound of raw cane sugar, under 23 subsection for each of the 2025 through 2031-24 crop years, and 56. In subsection, by striking 2023-1 and inserting 2031. Adjustments to Commodity Credit Core 3 Proration Storage Rates. Section 167 of the Federal Agriculture Improvement and Reform Act of 1996 is amended. 6. By striking subsection and insert 7ing the following. 8. IG. The Commodity Credit Corporation shall establish rates for the storage of forfeited sugar 10 in an amount that is not less than 11. In the case of refined sugar, 34 cents per 1,200 weight per month, and 13. In the case of raw cane sugar, 27 cents per 1,400 weight per month, and 15. In subsection 16. In the subsection heading, by strict 17ing S and inserting 18P and 19. By striking and subsequent and 20 inserting through 2024. 21. Odornizing beet sugar allet 22. 23. Sugar estimates. Section 24359B of the Agricultural Adjustment Act 25. 57. Of 1938 is amended by one striking 2023 and inserting 2031. Allocation to processors. Sec 3 Shen 359C of the Agricultural Adjustment 4 Act of 1938 is amend 5 ed. 6. By striking in the case and in 7 inserting the following 8. I except as provided in 9 subparagraph in the case and 10. By adding at the end the full 11 lowing, 12. E. If the Secretary makes 13 an upward adjustment under paragraph 14 in adjusting allocations among beet sugar proc 15 essers, the Secretary shall give priority to beet 16 sugar processors with available sugar. 17. Timing of reassignment. Section 18359E of the Agricultural Adjustment Act 19 of 1938 is amended. 20. By redesignating subparagraphs 21 through as clauses through 22, respectively, and indenting a pro 23 priately, 24. 58. In the matter preceding clause 1. By striking, if the Secretary determines that a sugar beet 3 processor who has been allocated a share 4 of the beet sugar allotment will be unable 5 to market that allocation and inserting 6 the following 7. If the Secretary deter 8 mines that a sugar beet processor who has been 9 allocated a share of the beet sugar allotment, the crop year will be unable to market that allo 11 cash in and 12. By adding at the end the full 13 lowing 14. T in carrying out subpara 15 graph, the Secretary shall 16. Make an initial determination full 17, lowing the publication of the World Agri 18 cultural supply and demand estimates approved by the World Agricole 21 Rural Outlook Board for the month of January 22nd UARI that is applicable to the crop year for 23, which a determination under subparagraph 24 is made, and 25. 59. Provide for an initial reassignment under subparagraph not later than 30 days after the date of the announcement of such waste. Reallocations of tariff rate quota. Section 359K of the Agricultural Adjustment Act of 1938 is amended by adding at the end the following. Initial reallocation. Subject to paragraph following the establishment of the tariff rate quotas under subsection for a quota year, the Secretary shall determine which countries do not intend to fulfill their allocation for the quota year, and reallocate any forecasted shortfall in the fulfillment of the tariff rate quotas as soon as practicable. Subsequent reallocation. Subject to paragraph not later than March 1st of a quota year, the Secretary shall reallocate any additional forecasted shortfall in the fulfillment of the tariff rate quotas for raw cane sugar established under subsection for that quota year. Cessation of effectiveness. Paragraphs and shall cease to be ineffective. The agreement suspending the countervailing duty investigation on sugar from Mexico, signed December 19th, 2014, is terminated, and no countervailing duty order under subtitle A of Title V of the Tariff Act of 1930 is in effect with respect to sugar from Mexico. Definition of domestic sugar industry. In this subsection, the term domestic sugar industry means domestic sugar beet producers and processors of sugar cane, refiners of raw cane sugar. In general, not later than 180 days after the date of enactment of this subsection, the Secretary shall conduct a study on whether the establishment of additional terms and conditions with respect to refined sugar imports is necessary and appropriate. 61. In conducting the study one under subparagraph, the Secretary shall amend the following 3. The need for 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 21, 22, 23, 24. Defining refined sugar as having a minimum polarization of 99.8 degrees or higher. Establishing a standard for color or reflectance-based units for refined sugar, such as those utilized by the International Commission of Uniform Methods of Sugar Analysis. Prescribing specifications for packaging type for refined sugar. Prescribing specifications for transportation modes for refined sugar. Requiring affidavits or other evidence that sugar imported as refined sugar will not undergo further refining in the United States. Prescribing appropriate terms and conditions to avoid unlawful sugar imports. And the potential impact of modifications described in each of subclauses through of clause on the domestic sugar industry. Whether, based on the needs described in clause and the impact described in clause, the establishment of additional terms and conditions is appropriate. C. In conducting the study under subparagraph, the Secretary shall consult with representatives of the domestic sugar industry and users of refined sugar. not later than 1 year after the date of enactment of this subsection. The Secretary shall submit to the Committee on Agriculture of the House of Representatives and the Committee on Agriculture, Nutrition, and Forestry of the Senate a report that describes the findings of the study conducted under subparagraph 63. I, based on the findings in the report submitted under paragraph, and after providing notice to the Committee on Agriculture of the House of Representatives and the Committee on Agriculture, Nutrition, and Forestry of the Senate, the Secretary may issue regulations in accordance subparagraph staff to establish additional terms and conditions with respect to refined sugar imports that are necessary and appropriate. Promulgation of regulations. The Secretary may issue regulations under subparagraph if the regulations do not have an adverse impact on the domestic sugar industry and are consistent with the requirements of this part, Section 156 of the Federal Agriculture Improvement and Reform Act of 1996, and obligations under international trade agreements that have been approved by Congress. Rural Adjustment Act of 1938 is amended in the matter preceding subparagraph by striking if there is and inserting for the sole purpose of responding directly to period of effectiveness. Section 359L of the Agricultural Adjustment Act of 1938 is amended by striking 2023 and inserting 2031. Dairy margin coverage production. D. Section 1401 of the Agricultural Act of 2014 is amended by striking when the participating dairy operation first registers to participate in dairy margin coverage. P. Reduction history of participating dairy operations. Section 1405 of the Agricultural Act of 2014 is amended by amending subsection to read as follows. PH, except as provided in subsection the production history of a dairy operation. For dairy margin coverage is equal to the highest annual milk marketings of the participating dairy operation during any one of the 2021, 2022, or 2023 calendar years. And by amending subsection to read as follows, election by in the case of a participating dairy operation that has been in operation for less than a year, the participating dairy operation shall elect one of the following methods for the Secretary to determine the production history of the participating dairy operation. The volume of the actual milk marketings for the months the participating dairy operation has been in operation extrapolated to a yearly amount. An estimate of the actual milk marketings of the participating dairy operation based on the herd size of the participating dairy operation relative to the national rolling herd average data published by the Secretary. Dairy margin coverage payments. Section 1406 of the Agricultural Act of 2014 is amended by striking 5 million and inserting 6 million each place it appears. 66. Premiums for dairy margins. T. Section 1407 of the Agricultural Act of 2014 is amended. 4. In the heading, by striking 5 million and inserting 6 million, 6 and 7. In paragraph, by striking 5 million and inserting 6 million. T. Section 1407 of the Agricultural Act of 2014 is 11 amended. 12. In the heading, by striking 5 million, inserting 6 million, 14 and 15. In paragraph, by striking 5 million and inserting 6 million. 17. Premium discount. Section 1814-07 of the Agricultural Act of 2014 is amended. 20. In paragraph 21. by striking 2019 through 22-2023 and inserting 2026 through 23-2031 and 24.
Welcome to Executive Order Watch.
The immigrants have arrived.
I know. I have the package.